Hey everyone, I'm super excited to have our next candidate for Project 1000 Hire. We have my dear friend Greg, all the way coming from all the way from Akron, Ohio. So first of all, Greg, thank you so much for joining us on this special project today.
Thank you very much, Ephraim. Appreciate the opportunity to speak with you.
Sure. So let's take it a little bit back. And why don't you give us a brief description of where you're from and a little bit about yourself?
Well, as you mentioned, I'm from the greater Akron, Ohio area, pretty much born and raised in the area. Married to Debbie for about 18 years, have two children in high school, both active in soccer and track. And my son, Kevin, is finishing up his Eagle Scout award for the Boy Scouts. My wife works in the school system as an aide in the autism unit, and
Wow.
really happy about the area that we're living in, despite the
That's
pandemic.
incredible. Well, it's incredible. I'm assuming you must have a tremendous amount of happiness from your children and their accomplishments and,
Yeah,
a beautiful 18-year marriage. It's also an incredible accomplishment in its own right.
thank you.
So why don't you tell us about a personal project or personal accomplishment? I mean, your family for sure is one of them, but something else that you accomplished and you're proud of.
When I got in with a wholesale distribution company, they service the multi-housing industry, and I was awarded a brand new territory that was well established by our competition. And despite the fact that we had a lot of the similar products and prices were, in line, I ran up to a lot of pushback. Why should I open up an account with you, Greg? I'm getting everything I need from your competition.
Mm-hmm.
Shortly after I started there, I had an opportunity to go to Chicago for a sales meeting. There I met a gentleman by the name of Dan Wilson, who had been with the company for quite some time. And I kind of befriended Dan and told him of my situation, and he just smiled and nodded and and listened.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "What do you suggest? What angle should I go at?" He said, "You've got to come from a different angle, Greg. You've got to ask questions. What are they having trouble finding? Where is their pain points?" And he gave me a catalog. He said, "Use this catalog as some ammunition, if you will. It's a company that manufactured hard to find window and door hardware. Now, we don't stock it, as you know, but we have access to it. Take this to some of the apartments that have been pushing you back and go at it from that angle. Because some of those apartments, I'm sure, are pretty old, and finding this stuff is a challenge." So Monday morning, 7:30 a.m., walked into my old friend Fred's apartment complex, Portage Trail Apartments. And there was Fred sitting there drinking his coffee, reading the paper, and he looked up to me and says, "What are you doing? I told you I don't need to see you." So I understand that, Fred. I appreciate that, but I've got a question for you. He said, "You know what? You're persistent. I'll give you that. What do you got?" I said, "Fred, these apartments were built in the 50s, right?" He said, "Yeah." "What do you do for window and door hardware?" He kind of laughed. He said, "Rob Peter to pay Paul." I said, "Really? Show me a piece." He says, "You don't have it." I said, "I know, but show it to me anyway." Pulled out his center drawer, slammed it on the desk. He says, "You got that?" I grabbed my catalog to page 55 because I'd kind of gone through it a couple times. Slammed it right back. "Is that it, Fred?" The shock in his face was just picturesque. He said, "You got that?" I said, "No, but I can get it to you." "Well, give me 100 of them."
Hmm.
"Sure, Fred. Why don't you fill out this credit application real quick?" He filled it out. I sent it to the office, got him approved that day, called him back, gave him his account number. I said, "You need a PO with his, just put Fred." I said, "All right, now it's going to be a couple days." "Okay, that's fine, that's fine." That was Monday. He got it Friday. He ordered 500 more on Friday. And then the next week, when he had to order his same old run-of-the-mill stuff, guess who got the order? I opened 100 new accounts my first year. I took a territory that went from $0 to 2.4 million, all by using what Dan suggested: ask different questions, find their pain points.
Wow, absolutely incredible. So we know you definitely have the drive. We know you're persistent. You're gonna make it happen. You're gonna find a new and incredible initiative in order to start to launch that type of thing. Why don't you give us a brief, um, you know, not history, but a brief challenge that your personal challenge you went through that you're able to overcome?
When I got out of college, we were going through a recession, kind of like the same challenges that the new grads are finding now with the pandemic. So I decided to enroll in a grad school. Gave me something to do.
Right.
And I landed a part-time job with a very small company that serviced the automotive industry. I wore a number of different hats. I picked orders, took orders, inside sales, quotes, delivered orders, everything under the sun. And I really enjoyed it. And come that later on that spring, the owner said, Greg, we've got some large accounts in California. I want you to call on them. Daihatsu, Mazda, Toyota. I want you to go out there, make an appointment to see the director of service and pitch our product. Not knowing any better, I said, okay. No training, by the way. Made the appointments, flew out there during spring break, presented how our company could save them thousands of dollars in lost sales of specialty tools. Shortly after I got back, we got 2 orders, Toyota USA and Mazda. After we shipped those orders, the president handed me 2 checks, commission checks, that paid for grad school. So I got my MBA in marketing in 2 years, debt-free.
Amazing. That's absolutely incredible. So what are you looking for in your next role?
I've really enjoyed outside sales. I do a lot of volunteering, or at least I had up until now. And I kind of think it translates into sales. Kind of what I alluded to earlier. If I can help a person solve their problem or find their pain point by active listening, creating value with a passion, the sales will come. One of my favorite quotes from Stephen Covey is, seek first to understand, then to be understood. And I think with a company that I join, I can hit the ground running. I believe the skill sets are transferable, and I understand the value of an account manager for a company.
Right. Wow. So, Greg, there's no doubt in my mind that any company you're going to be fortunate to join, or it's going to be fortunate to have you, you're going to bring, first of all your wisdom over the years that you accumulated and that you have, and it's absolutely amazing. And you're going to be able to train the younger generation what it means to do real sales, over a handshake of personal relationships. So, first of all, I want to wish you a ton of success. And we are definitely going to do anything in our way to send all those amazing opportunities, towards you. And if any way we can be of help, please let us know. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.